Girl, it's 8:30. How do you have all this energy? I know. Might be an Aries thing. I don't know. You guys are literally the first people, my first time using my voice for the day. I just woke up probably like 15 minutes ago. Um, I have to sign on to work at 9. So I figured, I was like, let me just go live now while I fold some laundry, because I went live yesterday evening and I feel like it kind of pushed everything out. Like I ended up going live in the evening, and then it caused me to go to the gym a little later than normal, and then I got back from the gym later, and then I had work to finish, and then I went to sleep later, and yada yada bang bang. So I'm trying to like knock it out of the way now. But if you're just joining me, hello, good morning. It's morning for me, so let me know if it's morning for you as well. And let me know where you're watching from. I'm curious. And this is actually day 3 of a 21-day live stream challenge that I'm doing, where I'll be going live every day for 21 days, just talking about different things. Yesterday, I did a thrift haul where I just showed all the things that I had thrifted. And then today, I'm just going to be folding laundry and just kind of talking about some of the struggles I face as a YouTuber and a seamstress. So let me get into it. Let me grab that laundry. Um, so I feel like some of the struggles are probably struggles that everyone faces, and others are probably just me. I feel like one struggle, this by the way is like my favorite crop top. But one struggle that I have is, and I have to be mindful of the time because 9 o'clock I gotta go. One struggle I have as a YouTube um, person, a YouTuber, is the sense of like doing things that I want to do versus things that I think is going to gain like traction and attention. And that's one of the struggles that I'm having right now, where like my very first video was, well, my very first video was like a singing video, I think. And I just made it because I loved singing and I loved the song that I was singing. And then somehow that turned into me making a sewing tutorial, and I saw that that like popped off. And not that I didn't enjoy making that sewing tutorial, because I did, but seeing that it had popped off made me like be more aware of like, oh, people are actually receptive. Okay, if I make more sewing tutorial videos, I'll continue to get more people, excuse me, I'll continue to get more people to watch, you know? And then over time, that's kind of what YouTube became for me. It became this thing of like, what can I do to get people to watch, instead of like, what do I want to make? You know, like I still have a little bit of like, what do I want to make? Because there are times where people will send me like a request, they'll leave a comment and they'll be like, oh, can you make this thing? And I might say something like, oh, I'll put it in my queue, or I don't know how to make that. I can't advise on how to make it, right? But truthfully speaking, sometimes that's my way of saying I don't like that thing. Like I don't like it. I don't want to make it because I don't like it, you know? So I do somewhat still have that, you know, I'm not fully gone to like the algorithm. I'm not fully like, oh, everything I make has to be for the people. But it is a struggle. It is something that I'm like, you know, find myself just wondering like, what can I do to get views? What can I do to get views? Like, you know, what kind of clothing is trending? What tutorials are other people in my field, you know, making, you know? And it just gets overwhelming because, in a way, my niche, like the sewing niche, is subjective, right? Like, yes, you can go by what's trending, But what's trending for one person or a group of people, there may be other people who are just like, I don't like that trend. I don't want to watch that video, you know? Um, Gosh, I hate when the bra cups like start twisting inside of the sports bra. That's just a pain in the butt. Like trying to like flip it. Another struggle that I have, and I would say this one comes from, I guess this is like a combination of like a YouTuber point of view and then as well as like a seamstress point of view. Another struggle that I have is feeling this pressure to be perfect, right? Like feeling like, okay, if I'm coming on here and I'm telling people how to make things, I better be telling them the truth. I better be showing them the correct way of doing things because I want to be credible. I want people to trust me. I want people to keep coming back to me because they trust me, right? It's a whole like domino effect of things. And I love the sports bra. This is like one of my favorite sports bras. But the thinking is like, okay, yes, there's the pressure of wanting to create these like, really accurate tutorials. But where the struggle comes in is the thinking like, okay, hold on, let me just show you this sports bra. This is like my favorite sports bra. Where the struggle comes in is there's the thinking of like, shoot, I didn't go to school for sewing. So some of these things that I do are things that like I just kind of wing it, or maybe I watched someone else do it, or maybe I looked it up and that's the information that I found. But the biggest point, the summary here is it's not something that a professor told me or like a textbook told me. So therefore I don't feel as credible, and I feel like I'm less trustworthy and I'm less like valid, I guess, as a YouTuber because I don't have a degree to back up, these things that I'm teaching or the things that I'm telling people to do, And that has become such a struggle for me. Hold on, I have to put my phone on Do Not Disturb because, sorry. That became such a struggle for me to the point where like now if you watch any of like my recent tutorials, like recent, you'll notice that I've replaced the word I replaced the word you with I. So before in my tutorials, oh, sorry, just wanted to show you, I made this a while ago. It's like a cropped, oversized sweater-ish thing. Got this fabric from Joann's, and this is like one thing that I made that I like wear all the time, Anyway, so I was saying that it's become so much of a struggle to the point where I've changed my terminology from you to I. So before in my tutorials, I would always be like, so to make this dress, you have to start by tracing your pattern, and then you have to cut out the pieces, and then you have to, and you have to, and you have to. And now, because I'm so self-conscious of like feeling like I'm not worthy of really telling people, oh, this is the right way. Because of that, I now say, this is how to make this dress, I cut the pattern out, I then, and sometimes I will be like, I'll say I, and then I'll literally like say somewhere along the video, whether at the beginning or the middle or whatever, I'll say like, this is how, like, these instructions are what I did. Like, this is what worked for me. There may be a more like technical and accurate way of doing this, but this is what worked for me. So like, you know, try it at your own risk, and remember you should always be testing your patterns and creations on scrap fabric. Like I always put in that disclaimer because of the fact that I'm so like self-conscious about not being like a credible person when it comes to, you know, sewing and stuff. So that's one struggle. Another struggle is have this thing where like I don't, and it's kind of along the lines of that credibility. I have a struggle where I don't feel worthy of saying I'm a designer. Where people like, I'll meet someone and they'll be like, oh, what do you do for fun? Like, what do you like to do? And I'll say, oh, I like to sew. And the first thing people usually say when you say you like to sew is, oh, you're a fashion designer? And I always say, no, I'm not a fashion designer. I'm a seamstress. I'm a seamstress. I always put emphasis on the sewing aspect and not the design aspect. Even though technically I am capable of designing. If you watch my day one live stream challenge video, I told you guys that before I actually started sewing, I was designing pieces like from the age of like 8 or something. I was kind of drawing like clothes and stuff like that. And granted, some of them weren't my own unique designs. Some of them were like I would look at like magazines and then just kind of draw it. However, flash forward to today, I have things that I've actually designed. Like I've designed them, I've drawn them out, and I've made them, you know? So I think my struggle with that though is feeling like because my designs are not like avant-garde and like over the top, it doesn't seem like I can say I'm a designer because I'm not out here making like Swan Lake dresses and like origami skirts and like really like, whoa, that's, you know, groundbreaking. Like it's something I would design would be like a top like this, or it would even be, I don't know, like a regular pair of pants, but it has one little thing that makes it different. And that kind of just made me feel like, wow, I can't tell people I'm a designer. Like, you know, but I have moments where I tell myself, like, listen, girl, you gotta stop thinking that because you are capable of designing. You have designed before, and designing is an art form, which means it's subjective, which means, you know, someone might see your design and say, whoa, that's rubbish. And someone else might see it and be like, whoa, that's so cool, you know? Even in its simplicity, it's still cool. Like, not everything has to be complex. Like, some things can be simple and, like, wonderful, you know? So that's another struggle. But today, I feel like I could say, yeah, I am a designer. Yeah, I'm a fashion designer. You know, I am. And maybe that's just it. Maybe I need to lean into it more and maybe start creating like, you know, more pieces that I've designed and actual sketches and stuff. Maybe do it more so that I can feel like if someone ever says, are you a designer? And I say, yeah, then I'll actually have receipts to be like, oh, here's my book. Here's my portfolio of things that I've either sketched or things that I've sewn or both that are my own like designs. You know what I mean? So maybe that's what it is. Just like create some substance, girl. Yeah. And then what else? Let me get some water because I'm like talking so much. I see there are 2 people here with me. Good morning. At least for me, it's a good morning. Let me know if it's morning for you where you are. Let me know and where you're watching from. So another struggle that I've had, gosh, I hate sports bras like said this already, but I hate when the cups are like twisted inside of the bra. It's so annoying. Anyway, another struggle that I have as a YouTuber and a YouTuber and seamstress is this pressure of feeling like I always have to like have like a new idea, you know? Like I always have to be doing something. Yeah, let me put it that way. Like I always have to be doing something, right? Like, you know, as a YouTuber, it's like if you have a video that goes well, especially if it's a video where people are like engaging and, you know, writing comments and stuff, the moment that goes well, there's this like pressure, this feeling of like, oh my gosh, like I have to make another video like this, or I have to make another video in general because people are here and I have them and they're watching, and if I don't make another video, then they're gonna like forget about me and they're not gonna come back, or they're gonna say she's a one-hit wonder, or, you know what I mean? And it's just like this kind of, it's like a hamster wheel where like you get on it and you move a little, and once the momentum picks up, then it's like you have to keep moving in order to keep the momentum like going. Otherwise, there's no motion, there's no movement, and you're a nobody basically. And I feel like in today's like society, it's like your existence sadly is based on your internet presence, because we live in a society where like people don't, in my opinion, these days people don't really call each other as much, right? So you're more likely to know if someone's doing well if you see that they're posting on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, that they're posting in general. So you associate that with, oh, they're alive and they're well. Whereas like, you know, maybe I'm alive and I'm well and I am well, but I'm not posting on social media because I'm actually living my real life. And the people on social media could completely forget about me because they're not seeing me in that realm. And again, given that we're in a, you know, now in a society where like people aren't calling or texting or whatever to check in, it's like once they don't see you on Instagram, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, you know? That's how I like process it. And I don't necessarily think it's that way with everybody. There are some people who will like text you or call you and be like, girl, actually I had a friend of mine, shout out to Alexia, who called me the other day and was like, I haven't seen any posts from you. Like, I was wondering like where you're at. So I'm calling to check in on you, you know? That's a rarity, unfortunately, that people do that. So yeah. Okay, so I finished all the clothes on the stendino. I call this thing a stendino. Sure, it's like a name, like a dry rack. I don't know, but I say stendino. So I finished these clothes. I have more clothes in the actual like cart. Coming back. I'm coming. I have clothes in this like wheelie thing that I had started yesterday, but I didn't finish. So yeah, another struggle. Let me see what time it is. I've got like 10 minutes. Another struggle that I have is the balancing act, right? Like, I am a content creator, and I'm a seamstress, and I'm also a corporate job worker. I have a corporate job that is not really a 9 to 5. Like contractually, it's a 9 to 5, but actually it's a 9 to whenever. And whenever can be 9 to 10 p.m., can be 9 till 4 p.m., 9 to 7, whatever. And with that being said, because it's so like, it's such a variable, I don't know if I said that right. It felt right, but you know what I mean? Because it's so like, you know, it changes so much. It's so flexible. It's hard for me to set, like a schedule or routine of like, okay, I finish work at 5. So every day at 5 o'clock, I'm going to like record some content, even if it's just for, 20 minutes or 15 minutes. I can't really do that because I might finish at 5 today and finish at, 8 o'clock the next day and not be able to set that schedule. And the type of work that I do is like, it's teamwork, meaning like, if I don't do my part, someone else is going to suffer, you know? Or if someone doesn't or didn't do their part, I have to wait. I can't do much without their part. You know what I mean? So I say all that to say that it's hard to like really set a schedule. And technically the only way that I can set a schedule is for the weekends to be like, okay, Saturdays and Sunday, I'm gonna record and edit. But then you gotta think like, I've been working 5 days of the week. When Saturday and Sunday come, I wanna just chill. I wanna kick back. I wanna socialize. I wanna hang out, go out. I don't, and that is a sub tier of that's another struggle within itself. Like the struggle of being so burnt out from work that I don't even want to sew. Like let's put the content creation part aside. Like let's put aside the production, the recording, the editing, planning, all that. Let's just talk about the general love, the general desire to want to sew. I be so burnt out from work that it be to the point where I'm like, I don't want to sew. I love sewing. I do. But I don't want to do that. And so, when the weekends come around, it's like the feeling is there. Like, yeah, I don't want to sew. I've been working 5 days this whole week. And technically more than 5, maybe 6 or 7 if you toss in the extra hours that I worked, Gosh, I have to fold the sheet. So yeah, just finding energy and staying motivated is definitely a struggle when it comes to being a part-time YouTuber. One day I will be a full-time content creator, and not even content creator, but I will be a full-time artist, and I will have the liberty to divide my time to where I'm being productive, and I'm also having time and space and energy to be social and just kick back and not be productive or creative. One day I will have that liberty. One day. It is 54. So I've got like 6 minutes or so. Yeah, that's another struggle. Another struggle is that I've been dealing with recently, and I honestly don't know the psychology behind it. This is still a little like damp, so I feel like I'm gonna leave this to hang because it's not fully dry. Another struggle that I've been facing is this feeling of like not wanting to be seen. And this has been really prominent for me lately. This feeling of like, yeah, I want to be on, I think I want to be on social media. Like, it's cool. I want to be part of the cool kids or whatever. But at the same time, I don't want to be seen. I don't want people to see me. I don't want people to see what I'm doing or, like, yeah, see what I've been up to. Like, I don't want that. And I don't know, again, what the psychology behind it is. If you're watching this and you know, you got an idea, let me know, because I don't know. But I just feel this pressure of like, what if, people think I'm a certain way, and then like I share something on social media and it changes their view on me, and then they don't like me anymore? Or, what if, um, from a creative standpoint, what if I share something from a creative standpoint and it's like people don't like it and they think it's trash? You know, but I think it's really it's mostly the first one. Like, what if people see me in a different light? Like, I almost feel this pressure of like, I can't fully be myself when I know that people I know are watching. Cause it's weird. It's like, if strangers are watching me, if I don't know who you are and I know you're watching me, I don't care, because I'm probably never gonna see you. And if I see you, it's gonna be that one time, and I don't have to worry about, you know, seeing you and always thinking like, oh, what does she think, or what does he think of me, right? But whereas like if you're my colleague, or like, somebody that I'm gonna see on the regular, I have this pressure. I have this like this fear, insecurity of like, okay, and that is one reason why I don't like to be friends with anybody on Instagram that I work with. Like, and I'll tell them straight up. I'll be like, listen, like, I want to keep my life private, and I feel like if I add you as a friend, if I add you as a friend on Instagram, I'm not going to move freely, because in my mind I'm gonna be like, oh, you know, Hillary from work is watching, so let me just be careful about what I say, you know? And I hate that. I don't like to feel like I have to filter myself. Like, this is my platform. And maybe I don't know, maybe it's because there's more consequences to it. Maybe because like there's a fear of like, if they see that I'm this way, then I run the risk of getting fired. Maybe that's the bigger fear. But I don't think so, because I also feel that way with people that I don't work with. People that I don't work with, and people that are not associated with a consequence, like getting fired or something. Maybe I think you know what the consequence is? You know what it is? Judgment. That's what the consequence is. Being judged. Boom. I'm my own therapist. I'm my own therapist. I should do this for a living. But that is the consequence. If I show who I really am, and I show not who I think you want me to be, or what I think is gonna engage you or interest you, and you don't like it, you may judge me. And in that judgment may be rejection. And that is scary. That is tough. I don't know if my little soul can handle rejection or recover from rejection. Maybe that is what is going on in my head, you know? But yeah, that's been a big struggle for me. And it's the reason why I've been really MIA on Instagram. Like YouTube, I've been MIA because of the production aspect and how much time it takes, and all the things that I just told you before about like work-life balance and feeling burnt out and all that. With YouTube, I don't feel like I have to like filter myself. I do feel like I can say whatever I want and do whatever I want on YouTube, which is good, because it's my biggest platform, and to me it's my home platform. But on Instagram, for example, I'm like, ooh, let me double think if I want to post this thing, because Auntie Sherry is watching. Auntie Sherry is watching, So I don't know. If you're watching and you got any advice about ways that I can kind of maybe get over it or get through it, right? Through it or completely over it, let me know. Let me know, because I know it's holding me back from being great and showing my greatness. Ooh, ouch. Just hit myself so hard. Not so hard, but it was harder than I thought it would have been. Anyway, let me see what time it is. Ooh, it's 9:01. It's 9:01. I'm officially on my work clock. So I'm going to fold this pillowcase and then I'm going to say adieu, ciao for now to you guys. But thank you if you tuned in, if you're watching this now. Thank you for joining me on day 3 of this 21-day live stream challenge. I'm definitely looking forward to joining you guys the remaining days. And yeah, right now I'm all about just finding my people. That's it. It's not about numbers or nothing. I just want to find people who are here for me. Anyways, if you're watching, thank you. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.